Good afternoon, everybody. What is going on? I am jeffgrantMEDIA. In today's real user review, we're going to be taking a look at the Matador Beast 28 UL Packable Day Pack. Now, I am not affiliated with Matador in any way, shape, or form. I bought this bag with my own money, so I'm not being paid to say anything positive or negative about this bag. I was using an REI Trail 25. Now, there were a few things I really liked about that bag. There are a few things that I didn't really like about that pack. So ultimately, I decided to move that along, and I've wanted a Matador for a while, but I've been eyeballing the Beast 28 for some time. And because we have a new pup that you may or may not be able to hear running around down here with me, I decided to go with the 28-liter version instead of the 18-liter version because there are now 4 of us that I'm now carrying water and snacks and dog food for. So I wanted the little extra space, and I was using the 25-liter REI Trail, so I wanted to keep something very comparable. And I feel like for a day pack, I like to go a little bit bigger on my day packs than like my EDC pack. So I like to go in the mid to high 20s, maybe even up to a 30-liter volume bag for my day packs, because now that I also have a 3-year-old, she likes to collect things, so I'm always sticking stuff inside your bag. And sidebar, if you have a 3-year-old and you're on a hike, always keep some plastic bags inside your day pack because pine cones are sticky and they ruin the inside of your pack. And I learned that the hard way some time ago. So I generally have been keeping some plastic bags inside, and I think actually, we'll find out, but I'm pretty sure I have to refill those plastic bags inside here because we did collect some pine cones the last hike, and I used the bag that we brought. So I think I need to put some more back in here. But to start, as always, we'll do a quick spec rundown of the bag, then we'll get on into the review. The Matador Beast comes in 2 flavors, an 18-liter and a 28-liter. The 18-liter coming in at $134.99 and the 28-liter coming in at $149.99. The bag is made from a 210D aerobic nylon waterproof UTS coating shell, and they say the UTS coating has 30% more strength than a standard PU coating. The interior of the bag is made from a 100D aerobic HT nylon. There is a flex wire frame inside the bag, and it does come with a removable hip belt. And as always, we're gonna go ahead and do negatives, neutrals, positive points, and then we'll do the wrap up of what I'm carrying in the bag and my final summation. So to start, our first negative is actually the way this pack opens. Now the bag itself has a J-shaped opening, and this is the terminus on the left side of the pack, and on the right side it is all the way down at the bottom. So if you can see, here's where the zipper ends. Here's where the zipper ends. So when you open the pack, it will clamshell, sort of. But see, if you have anything in this front pocket here, because this pocket is deep, it goes all the way. It's pretty much the whole panel. It comes to the bottom of this daisy chaining here. So if you have anything in here, which I do, I have a few things in here. When you want to flip the bag open, it doesn't quite open all the way. It kind of, you can see I'm kind of getting a good fold now, but if you have anything stiffer in this front panel, if you have it packed up with a bunch of snacks, or if you have anything long and straight, if you have like a map or anything in here, you might not get a good fold. So sometimes this doesn't fold over, where if it was a clamshell, it would kind of just lay flat. If it was like the MPL 30 where both zippers would come down all the way to the bottom, I could flip this all the way flat and I can easily access everything inside the bag. This way, I got this half fold. It's not always an issue, but it is. I really do wish that both of the zippers would just come to the bottom on both sides. It would just make opening and accessing everything inside this bag that much easier. And honestly, that's it for the negatives of this bag. And I have actually been using this for quite some time. I think I've owned it for a little longer than I normally do my real user reviews. I think I've been using this bag for 2.5 months or so now. And that's because it's not an EDC, so I'm not using this every day. I'm kind of only using it on the weekend, so I wanted to give it a fair shake. And honestly, that was my biggest negative and my biggest issue with the bag is the fact that it has that J opening. You can, maybe if you jump back, you can see like my Mountain Hardwear, was the Grotto 30, I think it was, I reviewed, has that same shape to it. I believe that was actually the opposite, where the J was on the, if you're looking at it, on the left side of the pack instead of the right side. So it was a little bit different, where but it was still the same function where if you had anything in that front pocket, it did make that peel over a little bit harder. Now, the little bit of a plus side is your zipper pull tabs. If you're like me, I like to keep them on this side of the pack, that they're always kind of in a good spot to easily grab. But I do really wish the bag would do a full clamshell opening instead of this J. It's not terrible, it's not a deal breaker, but it's a little annoying, and honestly, the only negative I had. Now, moving into my neutral points, my first would be these pull tabs. They're really, really small, and then the tab that they put on it isn't that much bigger. Now, the last hike I took, I did have some thin gloves on, and I still was able to grab them pretty easily, but I did fumble once or twice, because you don't have the same dexterity, you don't have the touch when you're trying to wear gloves, period. So I feel like now that it's like 14 degrees outside, if we go for a hike this weekend and it's equally as cold and I'm wearing thicker winter gloves, these pull tabs, they're pretty small. That's gonna present a bit of an issue for me to pull them up. Now, it's an easy switch fix. You can put some paracord in there, you can get some other pull tabs. You can really kind of customize these and give the bag your own little flair. But the ones I actually like the ones they came with. I like the feel of these. I just wish the tab itself was a little bit longer so I can get a better grip on that. Because again, if I have a thicker glove on, I'm gonna have a lot of trouble grabbing these this time of the year because it's getting pretty cold out. And my other neutral point is these side compression straps. Now, I don't generally use side compression straps. That's me personally. I know a lot of people do, and I do like to have them on my pack. I have used them as a custom option on a lot of bags, but the way they're on here, where it actually attaches to the top of the water bottle pocket, and it goes at an angle, sometimes it's an issue. These bottles are a little bit smaller, the two that I have in here now, so it's not that big of an issue, but you can see if you're lifting, sometimes you get caught on it, and these pockets will actually accommodate like a 1 liter water bottle. So if I'm using a larger water bottle, that's when these actually become a bit more of an issue, because you're kind of trying to get that larger water bottle in, sometimes you're hitting it and you're getting stuck on it, and then you saw when I'm trying to pull this out, if it's bunched out, it can come up and under. Yeah, you can kind of cinch them down and try to mitigate them, but I'm still found no matter which way I did, they become a little bit of an issue. This one is a little bit different water bottle. It's a little bit slimmer, but I'm still hitting that strap every once in a while. It's not a big issue. It's just a little bit of jangling, and you get it in and out, no problem. But it was a bigger issue when I was carrying a bigger water bottle. I usually carry a 32-ounce Nalgene for the dog that is eating everything on the ground right now. That's usually his water bottle when we hike, and then I usually carry a smaller one, something like this that usually my wife and I share, because I don't usually drink too much water unless I'm hiking in the summer heat. And then my daughter has her own little juice cup, and that'll usually go in one pocket, ours will go in the other. The dog's water will go inside the bag. But if we don't carry the daughter's juice, just a short hike, or if I don't bring one, the dog's water bottle does go on the outside. And I have carried that 1 liter. Was a few hot days in the beginning of testing of this, so I did carry a 1 liter water bottle. And the side compression straps, they do tend to get in the way. No matter how I set them up, they do get a little in the way. But again, not a deal breaker. It's an easy workaround. You just kind of fidget with it a little bit and you got no problems getting in or out. And again, it's usually with a larger water bottle. And that's really it for the neutral points. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied with this pack. Now, a couple of the positives, and the first positive is gonna sound kind of familiar, and that is the water bottle pockets. I actually really love the water bottle pockets on this bag. I mean, if you've been following along for a while, you know that I love water bottle pockets on pretty much any bag, but the pockets on this bag are great. They've been able to fit a variety of different size water bottles. I have 2 different ones in here now. I have this one, that's just a cheap one. It's long and skinny. I think, what is this? 17 ounce. It's just a cheap double wall insulated thing from Walmart because my wife stole my main one for work. And then this one on the other side is more like a cycling style. It's from Arch. When I got my Arch Grisetti bag, included this because they're a cycling company, but this is like the cycling water bottle that you put in the water bottle cage on a bicycle. And this is like a little more short and stubby, and it kind of gets swallowed in there really good. It's not coming out. And this one's a little bit longer. It's rubberized, so it's got a bit of a grip on it, and also very secure. Again, I've used Nalgene bottles. I've used a larger double-walled, I think it's actually bigger than a liter. It's a big water bottle, and it fit in here no problem. And everything was very secure. I did not feel like anything was gonna fall out in any of my hikes. Walking up and down, if you've never hiked in Pennsylvania, there are lots and lots and lots of tree roots. If you don't believe me, go ahead and look up any videos about people through hiking the Appalachian Trail. They hate hiking through Pennsylvania because it's essentially, it's like a bumpy road the entire time. It's just tree roots. It's terrible. So you're always bumping, you're always bouncing, and when you're bending over to untangle the dog's leash, help your daughter up after she trips on a rock or some leaves or a stick, or picking up any of your pine cones that you're collecting on your hike, all of that stuff, the water bottle stayed out. Nothing ever slid out of the pack. So water bottles pockets are great. They do stretch and give for a variety of sizes of bottles, and they don't have too much tension where it is definitely pushing the water bottle towards the inside of the pack, taking up some of that internal space, but they're not super tight where I feel like water bottle is almost, even though it's on the outside of the bag, almost sitting on the inside of the pack. It's the stretch is like magic. I really love the material that these pockets are made out of. And from there, we're gonna go into the other favorite, which is another outside feature, and that is the daisy chaining. I really love daisy chaining. I find it very useful on just about any bag. But this daisy chain is great because the webbing, it's giving you enough to actually use. I hate when there's daisy chaining, but they sew it so tight that you can't even get this, like these plastic beaners, they're not that thick at all. But I've had packs where the chain was so tight, I couldn't even get something like this in. I could only get something like this Night Eyes, which is really hard to see because it's murdered out. It's a black on black, but it's super thin. It's just a Night Eyes S-clip bottle opener where I can only get something like that in there. And you always got to carry the bottle opener. You got to be prepared for a nice cold reward after your nice long hike. And sometimes your bottles aren't twist-offs, and sometimes those twist-offs, they don't want to twist off, so you always got to be prepared with the bottle opener. And if you got a pretty much black bag that's murdered out except for the orange carabiners that I put on there and the little white branding on there, you got to put the murdered out S-clip on there too. So yeah, I love the daisy chaining. I find it incredibly useful, especially around this time of the year. It's freezing cold out now. It's like 14, 15 degrees outside, but sometimes it's a little warmer, like in the mid-20s, it'll warm up to the 30s, and once you get going, your body heat. And I like to be able to clip my gloves to the outside of the bag. If I'm not carrying dual water bottles, I'll generally designate one of the pockets for my gloves or my hat, and I'll just throw them on the outside. But when you're hiking with you, your wife, your daughter, and your dog that's now underneath me eating stuff off the floor, you're carrying a lot of water. So generally I'm using all of my water bottle pockets these days, so I'd like to clip my gloves to the outside if I get a little bit warm, and having a carabiner on this daisy chain makes that incredibly possible. And the bag also features dual clips for trekking poles or ice axes, and I really like these clips. They're really small, so they're hard to see, but they actually do compress, so you squeeze it in and you can pull it, and you can always tug it back to get your cinch on correctly. But I like them because it's not just friction, it's actually a clip that you squeeze. I find that that's it's just cool. I've never seen them this small before, and again, it's super hard to see these little guys on this black murdered out bag, but we're really happy with these little clips. I personally haven't really used them yet, but I like that they're there and I like how they function. They're really great. And then from there, the next thing we're going to talk about is the organization of this bag. So we have this front compartment that is super deep. It comes down to pretty much the bottom of the daisy chaining. So it actually goes with the bend of the bag, and it's deep, and it does have its own dimension where it expands out, so you're not pushing into the main body of the bag. It's actually expanding outwards, so it has its own dimension, so you could really stuff this thing. But inside here, we have another zipper pocket that's a pretty good size. And in here, right now, I have this Ziploc bag with their maps to a bunch of the state parks that are close to my house, within like an hour's drive. There's a bunch of different parks, so I keep my maps in here. Also been throwing snacks in here, so this is like my maps/snacks pocket, because it's easily accessible. I don't even have to take the back off. If my daughter wants a snack, I can turn around, my wife can unzip it and get in here easily without me having to totally remove the pack, and she can get a snack. And that's contained inside this front pocket, so I don't have to really worry about, even if the zipper pull is really small on this, so even if she forgets to reclose it, and then we just zip that outside compartment again, I'm not going to lose any of my snacks or anything because it's on the inside of the bag, which you can clearly see the difference of the color difference. So if the bag itself isn't, the main pocket isn't zipped, you can totally see that that's not done. So I like that it's inside there, and there's a little extra security, so I'm not going to lose those snack bars. So, you know, we have that. We have dual water bottle pockets, which are great. And then here's where you can really see the peel down on the inside of the bag. So here's with the stuff in it. Now if I remove my first aid kit, and a little bit of a supplementary first aid supplies, you'll be able to see that this pocket really flops down, which is great, but if that zipper came to the bottom, I wouldn't have that issue. But anyway, I digress. Inside the bag, we have our water bladder sleeve, which is floating. It doesn't come all the way to the bottom. That'll fit a variety of different size water bladders. Then we also have our hangers. And then we have our water bladder port to come out is right in the middle of the pack, because we can actually feed it to right or left depending upon your personal preference. And I believe these are both little Haplon strips for you to tuck the tube, the hose underneath, so you can designate whatever shoulder you personally like to carry your water bladder on, because I hate when you're only given the choice of one side of the pack. I really like when you have the option to go with your personal preference. And then inside, we have this other little nifty zipper pocket, which I don't have my keys on me right now. They're upstairs inside my jacket pocket, but it has a key leash, so you can put your keys on your key leash inside your main compartment and then secure that in its own little pocket, which I have used this. I do use this. This is great for keeping my keys safe and secure, and I like that it's inside the bag. It's inside the main compartment of my pack, so I'm not going to be worried about losing my keys at all. And another positive is this interior high vis of the bag. I love that the outside is this murdered out black, which can easily fit in just about any setting. This is a packable pack, so you can actually throw this in your larger bag or your suitcase, take this wherever you go, and you can use this as a day pack in the city. It doesn't have to be a hiking pack, but so it fits in, the outside fits in every setting, but the inside is this high-vis gray, so I can easily see everything that's stacked inside my bag. I can see my little packing cubes here and everything else. I can see inside because it's not just this murdered out black hole, which I hate. I love black, dark bags, but I hate when the inside of the bag is black because then you can't see anything. So this high-vis interior is really, really great. And lastly, comfort. This bag has been incredibly comfortable for me to wear, and every hike that I've taken it on, I've done it in anything from a sweatshirt to a vest to a heavier jacket, and in all the situations, this bag has been very comfortable to carry, and it's fit well on my body and on my back. And now how I've been using this pack, my actual loadout. So I have been using dual water bottles on both sides. Variety, not always these two water bottles. I've been using a variety of them, and again, everything is fit just fine. In my outside compartment, I have my quick grab boo-boo kit. This has also supplemented with princess band-aids for my daughter because she loves them. Then I have this other supplementary kit that has a few other things. There's like emergency shelters and stuff in here, pretty small packable stuff, emergency blankets for everybody in the family. And then that's all I've been keeping in this front compartment now, because we've just been doing shorter day hikes, so I haven't needed any larger kits or anything. And again, I have my maps, and I've been throwing snacks in this compartment, but I don't have any snacks in here right now because, well, we didn't go for a hike this weekend because it's been pouring rain, and yeah, we didn't want to get soaked and sick. And all of these things fit easily in here, and this has plenty of room. And I try to organize first aid supplies. I try to keep all my first aid supplies red so I can distinguish them myself, or if I need anyone to grab anything, I could just say grab the red bags. Then our main compartment, which I guess I will take the stuff back out so I can show you that better. My main compartment, I use these cheap packing cubes. I'm not gonna lie, I bought some off of eBay and I really like them. I bought these for my dad bag and I like them so much that I found some on Amazon for next to nothing, and I just utilizing almost the same setup for my hiking pack as I have my dad bag, because it's easy. I know what's in each of these packs. So yellow is like wipes and diapers, although I don't need diapers anymore, but there's wipes in here, and there's also some extra dog poo bags in here, so I could put the waste for my daughter in here if we need any of those. Then we have the teal is extra clothes for my daughter. Black is tools and whatnot, so there's more tools and stuff in here. And then I also have this other red bag, which again falls under my first aid supplies, but this is the stuff that I don't always need, but I always want to carry with me. There is bug spray in here. There is sunscreen in here that I don't need right now because it's winter, we're pretty well covered. There is flea and tick stuff for the dog in here. There is a lot of different things in here, but I like to always keep this in my bag because I find if I take this out, that's the day that I'm gonna need something. Even though I don't need the sunscreen right now, the other stuff that's in this bag, I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need the bug spray or something. So I'd like to always keep that in here. So that always stays in here. And then again, I have nothing in here now, but I have been carrying my keys in this inside very safe pocket when I'm hiking. So yes, I have some of these nice, pretty expensive backpacks, and then I use these cheap $10, $12 for like 4 or 5 of these little tiny pouches. These cheap, crappy canvas pouches that one of them actually arrived. One of the ones I got from eBay arrived without the strap, wasn't even connected, it was dangling. But I like them. I find them incredibly useful. They're very cheap. And I bought them for my first dad bag because I didn't know what I was gonna be carrying. I was a first-time dad, so I just bought these because I needed something and I wanted something cheap because I didn't know what I was gonna need in them. I didn't know how much I was gonna actually use these. I didn't know how I was gonna organize my backpack. I had no clue, so I just bought these cheap ones and they ended up working really, really well for me. And because I don't just need a hiking backpack, I need a hiking backpack that's also a dad bag, so I need to carry all of my hiking needs, plus I need to have all the stuff for my daughter. It was really, really easy for me to integrate these same packing cubes into my hiking pack because I already had the organization there from the dad bag. I figured my dad bag out, I've been used to these. So yeah, I have this like $150 pack with these $10 or $12 packing cubes that I use to organize everything. And that's fine, it works for me. You don't have to spend a ton of money. I mean, I do recommend for your pack that's going to be taking the bulk of the abuse, you wanna invest in that. But the organization on the inside, I mean, don't buy crap. Don't buy something that's like, you know, $1 or $2. I have used stuff from the dollar store, like in the way back when I first started getting into different carrying options, and that stuff does fall apart. Not to say that eventually I'm going to ixnay these and start using some of the better pouches I have upstairs, but for right now, these work for me really, really well. So I'm just gonna stick with the system that I know works, and I have all the organization so I know what's inside each of these bags because it's the same in my dad bag and it's now the same in my dad hiking pack. But anyway, I digress. All in all, final summation, I am very, very happy with the Matador Beast 28. I have actually been eyeballing a lot of the Matador products for a long time, but it wasn't something I felt like I wanted. It was a want, not a need. And when I started searching for a new day pack, there were a lot of options out there. I did have it narrowed down to about 4 or 5 solid options, and there were some more expensive options. There was one bag that I really, really, really wanted, but when I weighed my options, it was a little more, like $100 more than this, maybe $130 more than this, so it was like $250, $280, but when I'm weighing my options, the bag itself weighed a lot more. The packing weight on this, I believe, is just over a pound. But it also didn't have much more organization. It was a pack. I still really, really want that bag, but it didn't ultimately have, it had a little bit more organization, but I didn't find it had that much more organization to be worth $130 more to me. The quality, it just seemed like a good fit for me. It was a good fit for both my personal needs and my carry needs. I like the aesthetics of it. I feel like the look of the bag fits me personally, and I feel like the carry, the organization, what I need to carry, the bag, it fits that as well. And it's a packable bag, so this can also come with me if I'm doing a one bag travel. I can fold this up. It does come with a removable hip belt, which I took off because I don't really like hip belts. So I took the hip belt off, and it also comes with its own little bag. It doesn't stuff into its own pocket because it has the frame, You have to do that like twist and fold and bend, and it has its own little mesh bag that it goes inside to keep it compressed, so it does not fit inside one of its own pockets, which personally I prefer, because I always feel like I'm gonna blow out a zipper unless they're a very, very thin packable bag. I don't like putting them inside their own zipper or inside their own pocket, because I always feel like you're gonna break the zipper of the bag, especially trying to work it and stuff it. I like a stuff sack. I hate when the stuff sack's connected. I don't like that. I like when the stuff sack can be thrown into another pocket. Sometimes there's a little zipper pocket that you can just throw the stuff sack in. That's great, like the way they do with rain flaps. Anyway, I digress. Very, very happy with the Matador Beast 28 pack. I think this is definitely going to be a keeper. I have no intentions of doing a flip on this bag like I've done with so many bags in the past, where I get done with them and I say, it was a great pack, I liked it, but I know I'm not really going to use it, so I'm going to move it along. This one, I'm going to continue to use, and I'm going to use it this weekend. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. If you were looking for a Matador Beast 28, I highly recommend this pack. I find it to be very, very useful, very utilitarian, and aesthetically pleasing. So if you like this video or any of my videos, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash that big red button, and ring that bell right next to it so you get notifications next time I post a brand new video. Good night.